you can really get some really powerful, important information in exit interviews because oftentimes those employees are willing to say things to you that they wouldn't otherwise say because they're on the way out.
How can exit interviews or offboarding conversations actually help your business grow, Molly?
Well, I think looking across the industry, hospitality, restaurants, food-based businesses, I think when someone gives notice, it can feel really emotional to the person who's receiving that information. They might be worried that they're not going to find another person to replace that person. They might be upset because they never saw it coming. However, figuring out how to let employees leave your organization is super important for a couple reasons. One, every employee who exits your business is going to tell at least 3 people about the job they just had and the reason they left it. And that is just a version of your employer branding out in the world. And so as much as possible, you want that person to feel like their workplace experience was concluded in an organized, succinct way, because it's going to affect overall the reputation of your business. So even if you're really upset that that person's leaving, you want to try to conclude their employment on a good note and a high note and make sure that they have everything they might need. 2, I think that the actual act of gathering information from an employee who is exiting, if you can kind of process that feedback, that's going to allow you to learn and grow as an employer. And there's a couple questions that I always ask, like, why did you take this job in the first place? Like, what inspired you to work for my company, right? What was the most important thing you learned while working here? What do you recommend I share with other employees from an information standpoint? And then I think you do want to ask them why they're leaving, why they're looking elsewhere, so that you can understand that as well. And then if they have any feedback for you on what you might do to improve, whether it's onboarding, education, job responsibilities, because if they're willing to share that information, that will just help you grow and evolve. It will also show the employee that you're thoughtful and willing to take feedback yourself as the owner or the operator. And then you can also really share that with if you have members of your management team as well, to show that you're being thoughtful and kind of wanting to innovate as you go along. So as hard as it is, try to swallow your pride when someone leaves you and think about it as a learning experience.
Yeah, exit interviews, you can really get some really, powerful, important information in exit interviews because oftentimes those employees are willing to say things to you that they wouldn't otherwise say because they're on the way out. And that information can be powerful information that you can use to really improve your culture, improve your workplace, improve your business overall.
Love it. Thank you. Do you have something else you want to say, Molly?
I think the last piece was sometimes administration in restaurants feels really hard to handle, right? Like you're open 7 days a week and you're like, oh, I got to process that final paycheck. When did that person leave? Do they have benefits? If you really commit to exit interviews consistently, it's going to help if you're doing it or if you have another person that's doing it, process those details. And those are details that employees who leave you care about. When am I getting my final paycheck? When do my benefits terminate? Depending on the state you're in, if there's any laws around vacation pay. So it also has an administrative supporting tool that helps the employee, but also helps you as a business.